Howdy. I wanted to start off this video with I made a small collage, or however you spell that word in English, of two pictures. This is one of them. Living Rock and Mammoth Hot Springs, Yellowstone National Park, which is obviously a volcano. There is very much volcanic activity in the Yellowstone National Park. Everybody knows that. And I have been talking about glaciers probably being contemporary lava streams made of water. Hence, the glacier carrying mountain could be a volcano. And I'm talking now specifically about the Alps. It's not that we have only in the Alps glaciers. They are all over the place. But anyway, no one considers the Alps being volcanically active. I do. That's why I made a little collage. Petrified spring in the French Alps. In a way, they look very similar. The picture below is from Yellowstone. The picture above is from the French Alps. But now let's go to something interesting. Sky News popped in today. Exclusive. Inside the world's first nuclear waste tomb in Finland. Deep in the bedrock of Finland, huge tunnels are being dug to dispose of nuclear waste and keep it safely stored for 1 million years. Some years ago, I've been watching a documentary about that. And those scientists or people who were involved in that, they were talking about time. Very interesting. World's first nuclear necropolis in Finland. Let's have a quick read. If I would... Now it goes away, this commercial quarter. The world's first geological tomb for nuclear waste is rapidly taking shape more than 400 meters below the forests of Finland. Batches of lethally radioactive uranium will start arriving within 2 years for burial in the warren of tunnels carved into the bedrock. Other countries, including the UK, are considering plans to build their own geological disposal facilities, which should safely isolate the 216,000 tons of highly radioactive waste that has accumulated worldwide since the dawn of nuclear power in the 50s. Sky News was given rare access to the site, called Onkalo, which means cavity in Finnish. It is built next to three nuclear reactors on the country's southwestern coast. Yeah, Olkiluoto, which has been, 13 years too late, this is the 5th most expensive building ever built by humans. A nuclear power reactor ordered from the French 13 years late, and now it's broken already. Maybe they can fix it before Christmas still. Maybe not. But anyway, let's see. Security was so tight in the aftermath of the sabotage of the Nord Stream gas pipeline that there was a strict no filming rule above ground. But we were taken down the 5-kilometer access road that winds through the bedrock so deep that our ears popped. At the bottom, further tunnels fanned out. So far, 5 have been completed, but up to 100 could be built over the coming decades, stretching to more than 40 miles in all. Our guide was Sanna Mustonen, a geologist and senior project manager for Posiva, the company that runs the facility. She said the bedrock was formed almost 2 billion years ago and has remained intact ever since. The rock itself, like in the whole area of Finland, is very stable, she said. We have old rock. We don't have continental plates nearby, so we don't have any earthquakes, seismicity, or other things like that. There must be security. Like other countries, Finland stores spent nuclear fuel above ground in shielded bunkers while it seeks a long-term solution. SAFIRE Project. But Mikka Pohjonen, tai Miika Pohjonen, I don't know, managing director of Posiva, said it would be irresponsible to leave such dangerous waste where it could fall into the wrong hands. I guess that's so dangerous stuff that whatever hands are the wrong hands. He told Sky News, if you look at history, 300 years back, how many wars have there been in Europe, for example? On the surface, the interim storage needs active measures from humans. The building needs to be heated, the spent fuel must be cooled, there must be security around it. If you look at generation forward, you cannot really see that kind of an arrangement would be risk-free enough. Various solutions to the nuclear industry's waste problem have been suggested, including launching it to deep space, burying it in an ocean trench. Yes, it will pop out after some time again. And dropping it into a fissure in the Earth's crust. Really? Did they really think about that? Yeah, why not? Just throw it into Etna. See what happens. Oh man. Yeah, I haven't read this before, but I couldn't expect this. Let's read it again. Various solutions to the nuclear industry's waste problem have been suggested, including launching it into deep space. Yeah, okay. Burying it in an ocean trench and dropping it into a fissure in the Earth's crust. Yes, you obviously seem to be a professional. They've been dismissed as unfeasible, expensive, or environmentally risky. Oh, yeah, okay. That's probably very wise. Say for 1 million years. Instead, Posiva will increase spent nuclear fuel in double-layered metal canisters that will slot into holes bored into the floor of the tunnels. To keep them dry, they will be swaddled in betonite and absorbent material used in cat litter. Calcium. White rivers. Ha ha ha. Yeah, white rivers are everywhere. More betonite will be used to backfill the tunnels, which will be plugged with concrete. Yeah, it's basically basic. Alkaline? No, anyway. When the complex is full in around a century's time, with perhaps as many as 3,250 canisters, it will be sealed up and all trace removed above the ground. It will be safe for 1 million years, Mr. Pohjonen said. Mr. North. There may not be humans here anymore, because in that time there will be ice ages, or the area will be underwater, but this is designed to keep out of the biosphere. Dummy canisters are already buried in betonite and surrounded by sensors. Some scientists have warned water could corrode the metal, become radioactive, and then rise to the surface over millennia. But Posiva says the multiple barriers keep the waste in and water out. And if there was a leak in a highly unlikely worst-case scenario, modeling shows that by the time any water reached the surface in 10,000 years, the radioactivity would have decayed so much that it would not be a threat for life or to life. Finland's progress has been watched closely by other countries. Sweden has begun construction for its own deep geological disposal site, France, Switzerland, on which I have been reporting, and the UK are further behind. A short list of 4 possible sites in Cumbria and Lincolnshire has been drawn up. The metal canisters will be entombed underground. Bruce Cairns, Chief Policy Advisor at the UK's Nuclear Waste Services, was also taking a look at Onkolo while we were there. He said responsible permanent disposal for waste is essential as the country commissions a new generation of reactors. As the country commissions a new generation of reactors. Now I got it right. We have 70 years worth of waste in the UK that's already accumulated from energy production, defense, and industrial processes. It's not going anywhere unless we do something with it. We have to take action to make sure this is managed responsibly. Not just for now, but for the long term as well. Key to Finland's progress has been engagement with the local community. Yeah, check it out. Olkiluoto is one of those. Maybe the one on the left, I don't know. Yeah, and watch at them. There aren't too many meters above sea level. Anyone remember Fukushima? What would a wave of 3 meters or 4 meters do to these? I don't know. A wave of 15 meters? I know even less. Olkiluoto nuclear power station, here it said. Locals in favor. The nearest settlement is Eurajoki, about 10 miles away. The existing nuclear reactors were already big local employers. And when the area was selected from a short list of disposal sites, the local authority voted overwhelmingly in favor. Vesa Lakaniemi, the town's mayor, said, "We have had nuclear power here for 40 years. People know about nuclear and final waste disposal much more than in the areas which don't have a nuclear power plant. Trust has developed over 4 decades." How beautiful. There has been a video, let's check it out. It's rather long, some 3 minutes. Here somewhere.
To take action to make sure this is managed responsibly, not just for now, but for the long term as well.
On Finland's west coast, they've been generating nuclear power for more than 40 years, storing highly radioactive waste in shielded bunkers. Now they're cleaning up.
So we are going underground.
For the first time anywhere in the world, they're going to bury it more than 400 meters down in the bedrock, our ears popping as we descend.
These are very old rocks that have been formed millions and billions of years ago from different origins. Then they are recrystallized and they form now this our very strong bedrock.
In 2 years' time, the first batch of nuclear waste will be deposited in a warren of tunnels that's rapidly taking shape. 6,500 tons will be buried in canisters over the next 100 years. The tunnels then backfilled and the whole complex sealed in.
This is being built to last 100,000 years. It is an extraordinary time span. Go back that long and it's a period of ice and mammoths and woolly rhinos, and modern humans hadn't even set foot in Europe. But that's the kind of timescale that's required when you're dealing with nuclear waste.
Robots will pack used nuclear fuel into double-layered metal canisters that will be lowered down a shaft to remotely controlled trucks that will then ferry them into the tunnels, where they'll be cocooned in water-absorbent clay. Experts from Britain and elsewhere are watching Finland's progress. 4 possible sites for burying the UK's waste have been shortlisted in Cumbria and Lincolnshire.
So we have 70 years worth of waste in the UK that's already accumulated from energy production, defence, industrial processes, and it's not going anywhere unless we do something with it. And we have to take action to make sure this is managed responsibly, not just for now, but for the long term as well.
So we've come about 10 miles away from the nuclear disposal site, and this is the local community. It is really quiet, but people here often work at the site or know somebody who does. So there's a strong connection between the two. But also, they've had nuclear power stations on their doorstep for more than 40 years.
They know nuclear and final disposal in this area much more than, for example, in the areas we doesn't have nuclear power plants. And that trust has developed during 4 decades.
And it's because of that long period of engagement and the building up of trust that people have accepted that this can be safely disposed of in their backyards.
Finland is decades ahead in finding a solution for its nuclear waste. But there is a growing consensus that it can't be left for future generations.
Yeah, that's 2 years old, this video. There is Thornhill and Clash sitting there. Scott, and I don't remember all those people's names. I don't know them. I just know them from YouTube. So to say. But anyway, Sapphire Sun. They can make really amazing things there. And also destroy nuclear waste. It won't be nuclear anymore. And that's one of the focal things they're upon. I just wanted to share this with you once again. Because even though I don't live very close to Eurajoki, where we have nuclear power plants and a nuclear necropolis and stuff like that. And well, anyway, let's have a listen to this. But I disagree with Finland being decades ahead of others and stuff like that.
The SAFIRE team has discovered the key to obtaining and sustaining high-energy plasmas. SAFIRE can create, control, contain, and repeat any number of plasma regimes. The hot plasma self-organizes and develops its own electromagnetic containment field. How does it work? We introduce hydrogen into the chamber. The anode is a metal alloy. The power going in is electrical. The reaction produces high energy levels, which translate to thermal heat. The heat creates steam to run a turbine to generate electricity. The hydrogen can be reused. The output is electricity, the majority going to an external grid, and the rest routed back to the power input. To date, after the reactions, all measurements and analysis show this to be a clean process, producing no negative radioactive side effects. In fact, note that nuclear radioactive materials are not required. SAFIRE is mixing elements at the atomic level. What you are looking at is a patented design that uses atomic hydrogen in a self-organized plasma. The atomic hydrogen interacts with the other elements in the chamber, causing nuclear reactions that are transmuting elements from one to another. And these are the elements that SAFIRE produced as a consequence of the nuclear reactions. What you are looking at here is an experiment run over several hours. We were adjusting the chemistry to get different results, the aim being to explore higher energy levels. On this day, the rise in temperature over time was what we were intending, and yet it still exceeded our expectations. 3 separate analyses had been done by experts in computational fluid dynamics. All 3 predicted that with 100% input power, we would reach the thermal limit of the chamber. And for 3 years, these predictions had been accurate. But with our new adjustments and using only 7% input power, we very quickly reached the thermal limit. It was the elemental transmutations that were responsible for the rise in temperature over time that was almost 14 times what was predicted. The tokamak and ITER reactors draw many millions of watts of power in an attempt to contain collisional plasmas to obtain fusion. At a cost of billions of dollars, huge international projects have been trying to contain plasmas, utilizing vast arrays of superconducting magnets. So far, this has been unsuccessful. Fission reactors split the atom, and although they have an efficiency of around 35%, they also produce radioactive waste. This radioactive waste is being buried in the ground or stored in facilities at enormous expense. None of it is benign. Some of it is still deadly even after a half-life of over 1 million years. So how is SAFIRE different? Self-organizing systems are a natural process occurring throughout nature. SAFIRE forms its own electromagnetic containment field into a self-organizing high-energy plasma. And unlike fission reactors, SAFIRE is stable, controllable, and has no environmentally dangerous or detrimental side effects. It uses hydrogen as the primary catalyst, the most abundant element in the universe. Studies done at MIT have shown that when radioactive waste is exposed to hydrogen isotope nuclei, the decay rate of the radioactive material can be accelerated, even to the point of neutralizing the radioactivity. SAFIRE creates an environment where hydrogen nuclei interact with other elements, creating double-layer shells. Within these shells, electrons, ions, and molecules are trapped by powerful electromagnetic fields. This is where radioactive material would be exposed to the hydrogen nuclei to remediate the radioactivity of that material. SAFIRE can also use radioactive materials as fuel. Elemental transmutation will remediate the radioactive waste back into base elements and render it benign.
So, I just wanted to share that with you, just that you know that there is another way to get rid of radioactive material. Don't have to dig it into the ground and then claim it will be clean after 100,000 years. Even though it would emerge to the surface, it's just not true because it takes much longer. They are like, this article or whatever stuff I read before is like full of false claims and lies. And I was wondering about the agreement of the people who are living there. Sounds like they got brainwashed for 40 years. Now they believe in it. I don't. And I just wanted to point it out. It's fascinating. And it all stays interesting. Thanks. Bye.